Hey YouTube. This may be a little bit longer than I would normally want to do them. And I'd first say, go check some of my other videos out that may kind of have some other information. I may not get into this one, but everything's going so fast that it's getting harder and harder to put information in there without having to back up and go back over it again, just because there is so much coming out here lately that it is just almost impossible to really not wanting to get more information to put it all out once so we can put it in a timeline. As you can see right here where I'm at is I'm in town right now. Walking along the trailer. I'm going to walk along the trail here just because this is normally where I'm at. Most of my life has been in the outdoors doing what I normally do, but just for a little information, what I'm going to tell you is I'm an older guy. I'm 62 years old, Native American, Mescalero Apache, 7th generation Coloradoan, and I've basically been off the grid most of my life, living a simple life because I won't sell myself out and I won't listen to the government and do what the government wants me to do. So I end up being pretty much working for nothing, really, being a slave to the system. So I'd rather, if I'm going to be free, I'm going to live free, I'm going to die free. And if they don't like it, they can come get me. By the way, I don't go easy. So here's the thing, okay? I'm walking along this trail right now, and I'm just going to show you some of the things that are going down here. Like I said, where I'm at right now is along the trail system, and there's just so much filth along this trail, that I can't believe, nobody does anything. Everybody's going along their life day to day, dumping their shit along the road, along the highway, on each other, the whole 9 yards. I don't know if you see the little styrofoam right there in the creek, man, and all the trash that goes along the side here. And this is probably not really that bad, but there's some right there, some down along the trail on both sides and everything else. But so let's get back to the program here. Government and society today, and where we're going down to. But like I said, I've basically lived out off grid most of my life. The last 12 years have been in a travel trailer that I've lived in the woods. I cut firewood. I do firewood, sell peeled poles. Basically, if you see the teepee in there, I come up with a couple ideas for some really cool teepee homes for people to live in that are homeless and stuff like that. I've sold a few of them here and there, and basically helped other people learn to be off grid and learn how to survive without a whole lot of means. You don't need a whole bunch of money. Right now my bills are probably like $100 a month. My cell phone and my insurance on my truck. But I do spend a lot of money. I spend about $4,500 a month on gas. I take that back. I make about $4,500 a month, and I spend about $800 in gas. So I could show you, about what it takes to be off grid and everything else. I'm not a rich man. I don't have anything to show for it except for my equipment. So I'm having to deal with all these laws and everything else that has to do with becoming homeless or living on the street, or medical bills and all the other stuff that normal life has to deal with. I just had a injury this last year. That's why I'm in town. I pulled a tendon in my knee. Basically, 6 months of recuperating, trying to get my knee back to work. And the year before that, I had a major hernia. For the last 10 years, I've had a hernia that kept extending so bad that if I cut it with a piece of paper, I would have spilled my guts on the street and died. And finally found some help in order to get back up on my feet and do a little bit of work. And then I hurt my knee, and now I'm back down here trying to recoup and basically trying to figure out how I'm going to get back up on my knees again. I lost the lot that I had worked on, which I was paying rent on, a wood lot, but the landlord decided that he wanted to rent it to somebody else because he didn't like what I was doing, evidently, and he could make more money on it. Needless to say, he's not making any more money on it because the business that he was operating wasn't making a dime, so he's now lost that income as well. More power to him. Whatever. I can't say no more than that. And I'm showing you more trash down out here. Man, I just can't stand this crap, it's just more and more trash every day. And I'm going over to a baseball field, America's favorite sport. And this summer, there'll probably be nobody out here. Needless to say, the fear they got going on with everybody in the country, they just, people are probably going to try to stay away from each other as much as possible. Let's hope so. As far as I've seen it, you can look back over there on the traffic over there, and more people moved into the state of Colorado than I've ever seen in my life. They're everywhere. They've overpopulated the area. There's never been any really good jobs in Colorado. Never been any really good income unless you are the elite. Get my point? It's not my fault. Where I am at is my fault because I will not bend my knee to another man. All right? So, in my last videos, we're sitting here talking about Civil War. And guess what happened? Well, the Civil War got put off. It's still in progress. Okay, Virginia had just looked over their laws. I guess they decided that they're not gonna force the gun issue because everybody showed up in a friendly manner, and I think that was for a reason. That's to show the world that all these people have guns, and it's going to be a battle if you sit there and keep trying to do what you're going to do. And that's exactly what should happen. Everybody should fight. And that's what they're going to push. They're going to keep on pushing it. You've got several groups of people, and we're going to call them Family X, Family Y, and Family Z. Okay, because that would be something that would allude to the Illuminati, or however else you want to call it. I shouldn't even say that because they'll probably ding me for that or tell me to take down the video or whatever. But anyway, I don't care. This is America. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and if they're going to censor my speech, then we need to do something about it as a whole, not just a singly, one guy doing it, complaining is what they're saying. I'm not going to complain. No, I'm just going to wait till something breaks out and jump in with the rest of the group. How do you like that? Okay, that'll happen. So that's what happens with Virginia. So Virginia's got their gun rights back, but other states have started to do the same thing because they want to take your guns away. Georgia, Arizona, Colorado again. We've already talked about Colorado. They've already tried tried to push that agenda here, but it's still kind of a 50-50 state. So now we have the election process comes out, and like I said, we still have and it has nothing to do with the candidates that are running here in the last, this last couple of days that have signed off and look like a scripted, I'm going to quit and give Biden my delegates. I'm going to quit and give delegates to somebody else. I don't want to run anymore because somebody won't give me enough money to do it. That's what it sounds like to me. And it's like, oh yeah, well, that's their agenda. Whew. So, looks like Hillary Clinton wants to run, like I said, for vice president. And Warren dropped out, so that leaves the females out. So that's what the majority of the deep state wants, and the Democratic Party. They want whites and blacks and women, or Democratic running female mates. Just it's just the way their agenda is. It's like you can see it moving around, but looks like Biden says that he doesn't want to run, but for 1 year. But I think that miraculously he'll decide that he's going to quit halfway through his term, turn it over to Hillary because he comes up sick, or maybe he just dies for some reason. Or we still have Talise Gibbard, like I said before. She had wanted to run, but she turned around and bailed out too. So she's not going to be a vice president candidate or a presidential candidate. So now that one's out. But she gave her backing to Biden. Okay. So that still leaves one more person that I think is going to come out of nowhere, and Michael, or excuse me, Mrs. Obama, coming up real soon. Any day now, they're looking for it. They're looking for everybody to bail out, which by chance, everybody's bailed out. Really? Really? Why is that? But now we're going to look at it again, okay? Hillary just got called into court to start testifying about her Benghazi agenda, or whatever she had going. And now they'll find out the truth about that, and it'll just keep on going because they're going to hook up a uranium-1 on that and a bunch of other stuff. So she's going to be hurt big time right in front of the main public, right on television, because the television and everybody that runs the mainstream media is going to have to start telling the truth at some point, especially if it's in front of the television screen, right? Right. So your mysterious candidates for another presidential contingency is going to be Michael and check it out. Check it out. Who's it going to be? There's only one other female that's going to be able to run it. That's going to be Oprah. 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 Who is Oprah? Well, she's part of Family Y. And I'm going to tell you, Family Y is Cult 93. They're the deep staters. They're the actors financed by George Soros and the Rothschilds what the heck, I'm thinking about the... So you're getting old, you keep forgetting some of this stuff. The cabal, anyway, they're all cabals no matter which way you do it, but that's family Y. Family X now is on the other side. Now this is the part where I started getting into new material. Now I'm not really a political person or somebody that believes in the political system or government agencies, the military, or anything else, being that I am ex-military myself. I believe that things that were happening that, a long time ago, that I should be keeping my eyes on and stay away from it, because they're all liars, all thieves, and manipulators. But when I started seeing this making America great again scenario, it started to hit me like really familiar, It was like, wait a minute, man. And then I started seeing all the agenda that started coming back into it, and started getting the connections on where he came in from and all this other stuff that he said that he's going to do. Granted that I do want the swamp drained, but that includes him as well. But until Jesus comes back, there's no way we're going to see a whole new political system. But that's what they're all looking for too. But they're looking for the Antichrist. The Antichrist is right around the corner. We're talking days away. But we're still back on Trump. First of all, we're looking at the political systems at war. The political system, we can't see it, in our normal everyday thing, but there are battles going on. People are dying all over the world behind the scenes that a lot of people haven't even seen, don't even know, don't even care. They're busy doing their everyday things, cooking dinner, playing baseball, driving, up and down the road, doing whatever they got to do. So, whatever they get from mainstream media is nothing but bull anyway. So now we're back on Trump again. Here we go. Trump is related to Kirkland, okay? Kirkland in the Scottish Rite. The Scottish Rites are the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were decimated in the 1800s at Notre Dame. Notre Dame? You mean the one that just burnt down? Yeah. By chance, I happened to catch his speeches or when he was talking about Notre Dame, and he said that he had done it, or they had done it, which means Q, or the QAnons, or the group of people that are affiliated with him. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know anything about Q and the QAnons, but Q being the 17th letter, and Q being the omnipotent being on Star Trek. Now, what the hell are we doing talking about Star Trek? And then we're going to start talking about some other cartoon characters that are out there playing their games and giving us information for the last 50 years. The Simpsons. Oh, look at, yeah, well, there's a lot of predictive programming that came down through there as well. So he's Knights Templar. Oh, everybody sit there going to tell me that I'm getting information and tell me that the Knights Templar was the good group of people in the Knights in the Round Table, and they stood up for the king and the queen, and they were for God and country in the whole 9 yards. But they were crucified at Notre Dame, remember? We're talking about a new revised Knights Templar. Okay, now who's funding this Knights Templar and this group? I'm going to call them Family X. Okay, Family X. Now, the more and more you see about it, the behind the scenes false flags that you see on both sides could be crossed over, blaming each other for the false flags in order to keep them off balance. So they can't come out and say that they done it or whatever. It's not like, you go over Afghanistan, oh, ISIS did it, we're taking blame for it, or, or one or the other groups, or, like everybody's trying to be, like truthful about who they kill. Really? That's not the way it is anymore, because after all, they are all Nephilim. That's right, Nephilim. I said Nephilim. They are the fallen angels, and that's who we're battling now. They live all around you, everywhere, and you can't see them, but they're there. You can take them on. Okay for them to come into you, take you over, possess you, and get you to do things like shoot people in schoolyards, in Walmarts, blow up bombs, in the whole 9 yards. But this has to go along with the other things that are happening with MK Ultra, mind control, drugs control. Oh yeah, by the way, there is no chemtrails in here, and this is one of the things that's been killing me for the last 6 months. But see, that's part of the virus. It just stopped. The virus just stopped. Well, so did the chemtrails. Why are we starting to feel better? I wonder why. Because they quit spraying chemtrails? Well, that's just another conspiracy theory. Yeah, I guess I'm a conspiracy theorist as well. Man, this stuff is so complicated, but here you go again. Now we got Trump saying that he burned down Notre Dame and his QAnon group that are supposed to be the righteous few, which he says that he's part of the chosen one. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is like, the chosen one? Chosen one of what? Is he going to choose himself, or did God choose him to be crucified? Is that what happens? The new Jesus? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah, well, I don't think that's the case. Just another Antichrist. The Bible talks about there'll be many come in his name, and that's like many people claiming to be Jesus. And you're starting to see that already. One is the Catholic Church. The Vatican, the Pope, is an Antichrist. That's one. And notice the other day he was wearing purple. When do you see the Pope wear purple? That was the only time I've ever seen the Pope wear purple in my life. He usually wears red or he wears white. Now he wears purple in order to say what all these other Deep State 93, Cult 93 groups are saying, Family Y, that they are all in and ready to take marching orders from the chief, the real Antichrist. And they're all bowing to him, saying, we're ready to roll on your agenda. And the agenda is coming to fruition. And the fruition is to bring fear into the world so they can keep on running and hiding and not understanding what's coming from below. It's so complicated. I don't know where people can get all this information in one day. I've been working on this for most of my life. I kept myself separated from it where I can see it. I don't believe in hanging around with people. I don't watch football. I don't listen to music. I really don't like watching a lot of TV. If I do, I like to get information, and I don't care if it's bad information or good information. It makes me be able to discern between good and bad information. That should be your agenda as well, because right now it's coming to the point where you're not going to find out until it's too late. That's why YouTube's been a good point for everybody in the last couple of years, and everybody says 10 years or more. But I remember going through the scare of 2000, trying to get information, everything I could, and there wasn't really a whole lot of information that you could get. I may be a little technical savvy, understand a lot of technical stuff. That's a forte I have, but I have a lot of other fortes as well. And I can understand where we're going at right now in a moment's notice. I don't know what to tell everybody except for that we should be prepared. I'm prepared as best I can be. I need a lot more. You'll never have enough, because it may be a running battle. And how can you prepare for a running battle with Legion? And that's exactly what it is, Legion. Thousands. We're in a battle. But here recently, finding a few more connects, we're looking at I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. That they're trying to start a war. Let's go back to iPet Goat, okay? This is iPet Goat. iPet Goat is predictive programming. Actually, if you look at it, they want to sit there and tell you what's going to happen in the future. And it basically is. They showed you a picture of Notre Dame burning down, and the next Christ-like figure coming to the forefront, riding as Anubis, and going through all this other stuff that's going down. I can sit there and break it down for you, all part of it. But the very part that we're at right now is the stock market plunging, which is Steve Mnuchin and Diamond, JP Morgan, and all them guys. They're rigging the markets, and they can push that stock market up and down at will. They don't even, they can make it go as far as they want or stop it and everything else. Trump is with them, or he wouldn't give them the signals to do that, which he did the other day. He gave them a signal to drop the market. They dropped the market, and I'm going to show you exactly how I know that they did that, is because if you take a look at gold and silver, it's been held down for the last 50 years, okay? It hasn't really jumped up much. Gold came back up a little bit, and silver's come back up a little bit, but silver's the Q. It's the part that you really need to keep your eye on, because silver is more valuable than gold, because it's used in more electronics and other devices than you can think of. So there's a shortage of it. So that's why they're keeping it down as low as they can, so they can take all the money from the stock market that dives and take it from the people that have all their money invested in the stock market, like 401ks and all this other stuff. Steal it from them, take it themselves, buy gold, and pack up and move to New Zealand. That's their new point of departure, is New Zealand. They're all wanting to go to New Zealand. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe the Maori take care of them down there. I'll have to ask my brothers if they're going to need some help down there, because we don't want them anywhere on the planet anymore. So Steve Mnuchin and Jamie Dimon rigged market with Trump being the puppeteer. Gold should go way higher than it's at, devalued. Silver being so hold back that it's $20 an ounce. It should be a lot higher than it is, but watch, it didn't move but a couple dollars both ways in the last 5 years or so. So it's not really going too far. So they're holding it down because they know once it bounces, it's like a spring on being pushed down. At some point they're going to lose control of it and it's going to bounce and it's going to go sky high. It's going to go 50. They're saying $50 here in the first couple of days. Then it's going to hit 100, and then it's going to hit 1,500. It's going to be up there with gold, and then it's going to be like 10,000. And then when the market goes that bad, what happens is it freezes. And I've already told everybody already that I've got signs and everything else. I've predicted that exactly what was going to happen. It was going to do this dead cat drop, bounce. Dead cat bounce. It's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to go down and it's going to bounce and it's going to come right back up and stay there for a second and go back down again. And they got 2 or 3 times that they can do that, and that shit's over with, man. Then they're going to have to start answering, and it's like, well, they got to answer to the public, and Trump's going to ask them how and why when he's the one that forced them to do it. I don't know how he did it. And I don't know why they would listen to him, except for that him being the major Illuminati backed or controlled, or he is the new Christ, Antichrist, or the new Rothschild. I don't know who's behind that. I can't really tell that yet, but I know it's not good. And it's something that we have to watch. It's just like what happened with Hitler, they played both sides. And we won the war, but, they killed millions of people. They keep doing this over and over and over again. It's so prevalent that I don't know why nobody else can see it. If you don't know the past, you're doomed to relive it. That's exactly what the Bible says. Pay attention. If you read history and don't believe what you read in books, if I believed everything I read in books, I would, in the books I grew up with and didn't question, I wouldn't know half the stuff that I know right now. That's why Native Americans don't believe the government. Come on. We learn the hard way. You can't believe anything they tell you. Take it for what it's worth. You can't not learn anything if you don't go out and look for it. And don't believe anything you see, hear, or taste unless you check with all your sources. It's complicated, man. I don't understand how we're going to get through this without a bunch of people dying. There's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people dying because they haven't got this information. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is that you better get to know Jesus, Yeshua, Yahweh. You're going to have to get to know him. You better get down on your knees and pray that you be saved from the hell that's coming to earth in the physical, not just a spiritual war anymore. It's becoming a physical war, and people are, all over the world are dying right now that have no clue. It'd be a nice waterfall if there wasn't so much trash in there and street runoff, pollutants. oil, antifreeze, all the other crap that gets down into this thing, because it doesn't come from the mountains anymore, just by the mountains. And you can see that's where they're at right there, along the Front Range of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Becoming one of the biggest dump sites since Denver. Ugh. I hate it. I want to get back up to 14,000 feet. I was going to put a picture in there of my cabin. Just for you to look at and think about being there instead of me. Elk. Oh man, the elk are beautiful. Used to go every morning at 7 o'clock and catch when I was driving up the road and going up through the gate there. It takes me about 2 hours to get up into where I'm working at. And I come across these turkeys every morning about 7 o'clock. And then, their babies are out there, and, you can watch them crossing the road right in front of me. And they're just taking their time. They're in no hurry. They're just in love with the world and being happy, making babies and all that other stuff. Bobcats, bear. Yeah, I should show you that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's on there. I can't see it. I've got one of my eyes blocked out on my phone, so nobody can see me, or turn on my phone and look out through it. Snowden taught you a whole lot of stuff. Take out your battery, shut off your phone, disappear. But anyway, Trump has got to be somebody we have to keep our eye on, because there's something going on there that's just not right. He cannot be our savior, because we know he doesn't come the way he came. He come up through New York. And by the way, why did he leave New York? And by the way, why is he in Florida? Makes you wonder. But anyway, you seen the way he came up. If we were in, biblical times and we watched Jesus being raised and everything else and then died and crucified, most people wouldn't even believe that, except for his apostles, right? Well, if that was the case, then Q and QAnon are his apostles, right? Are you an apostle of the Antichrist? Are you a QAnon? Are you a believer? Because he's come to destroy the temple. He's already destroyed one temple, and that's the temple of Notre Dame. And like I said on iPet Goat, that temple that's on iPet Goat after the stock market crash everybody's talking about it being the Temple Mount, but it's not the Temple Mount. Actually, it's the Temple of Esther. Actually, it's not her temple, but it's what the heck is it? Oh God. Anyway, it's in Iran. Okay, we'll just call it a temple for now, and it's not actually her temple. It's God, I can't figure it out. It's not coming to mind. I got so much stuff on my mind. There's just tons of it to go over. But anyway, it's in Iran. So take a look at this picture, okay? When the TCBR3s, or whatever it is, TBR3s, or the spacecraft, the alien invasion that's supposed to come in and destroy the Temple Mount and cause a fight with the Muslims, and in order for them to come over and start bombing Israel in order to start World War III. There we go. That's what you're looking at. Okay, now take another look at it, the TC-3RB is supposed to be United States Navy. They're the one that contracted that, and they're the ones that are in possession of it. And we know who's in control of that. But Esther's temple there, or whatever you want to call it. God, I can't come up with it. It's not a temple, but you can see it. It looks just like the one that's in iPad Goat, the one they blow up and all the crows come out of it and everything else. So when the crows come out and all that other stuff, then you can look back at her temple being in Iran. And the government just the other day, well, I'm not sure if it was just the other day, but they're talking about this month of destroying her temple. They don't want Christian temples in their country. They want mosques. But if you look like, I don't know why anybody doesn't understand that, but they believe in Christ as well. If you really get down to reading some of their literature and stuff like that, some of it's really in Islam is perverted, just like Christianity's perverted, so it's not any different. They just have to get the right information to the right people. So now they destroy the temple over there and all that other stuff and blaming it on Israel, and then next thing you know, Israel is at war with the Arab states. There you go. That should happen any day. How you doing?
Doing well. She wants to play in the water. Let her?
Pardon?
She wants to play in the water. You think I should let her?
I wouldn't play in that stuff. It's nasty.
It is nasty and cool.
Yeah.
She just loves it. So.
No, I know. Yeah, I know. Those dogs. Anyway. Pardon?
Do you think the runoff is reasonable for the nasty part?
Not yet. I mean, for now, it's probably just a little high, but, not until April, we're going to see a lot higher than that. April and May.
I'll try and keep her out of it. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's all polluted stuff. But anyway, here we go. Sorry, I had to talk to somebody walking by, wanting to get in this river and let his dog play in that stuff. I mean, this comes off of Monument Hill, off of Fountain Creek, which is only like 20 miles away, and everything that feeds into this is mostly residential area, and it just, it's just nasty stuff. It's nasty. Trash everywhere you look. And there you can see trash over there, foaming. When you see that, look at the waterfalls over there, it produces a foam that stays in the water. Colorado's not the same state. It's disgusting. Like I said, I'm 7th generation, man. I've seen it when it was I-25 was a 2-lane highway through it. Not the same state. Not the state that I love. And my family's been in for 7 generations, so, 10 now with my grandkids and my great-grandkids. I got 3 great-grandkids right now. That shit moves fast, doesn't it? But anyway, there it is. World War III is just around the corner. And it all started with a couple of people with too much power wanting to become Christ in order to take over the world, to kill us all off so they can own it. But we know who wins in the end. And you better get with Jesus if you want to bypass all this mess that's coming up. And I mean, in just a few moments, in twinkling of an eye, that's what it says, he's coming, and he's going to, take his chosen away. He's supposed to be raptured. Now, I don't want to get into controversial stuff saying that it's not going to happen, and it's talking about Revelation, but if you talk about Revelations, you're talking about things pointing back showing you the way that goes. And you can sit there and go in circles with this stuff, but when they do that, when they start telling you, that you're not going to be raptured, that's the demiurge, that's the Antichrist way of telling you that you're not going to be saved, and you're just going to die in your own sin. And I don't think that's God's intention for us to begin with, or he would have did it totally different. But I think this is a way of teaching the rest of the angels that are in heaven. And if you realize that there's more books to the Bible than just the Bible itself that have been taken away from it to keep you from learning the truth, then you need to take a look at the Vatican, filled with books and books and books and books and books that have been kept away from you to keep you from learning the truth, the real truth. And the real truth is that there is a Father in heaven, and we're coming to see it real soon. And I pray to God that you make it there. I'd like to see everybody that I know, everybody that I don't know, and everybody that'll see me there will know I helped them get there, and tell me that, they're glad that I was there to inform them about some of the truth that we're seeing today. So thank YouTube, and God bless, and keep an eye towards the sky.